Hi, what's up everybody? It's Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and welcome to Nerd News. This is the show where I go over all the nerdy news from the last week and relay it to you guys so we can all talk about it in the comments down below. First up, I want to cover what I think is probably the biggest news story from the last week, and this is going to contain spoilers for Venom 35, aka Venom Legacy 200. We learn in Venom 35 that Dylan is going to become the next Venom. That's right, we're going to get a new character inside the Venom symbiote. This means that Dylan Brock is filling some big shoes, with that symbiote previously being inhabited by people such as Peter Parker and Eddie Brock, of course. This will obviously serve as a swan song for Donny Cates' run on Venom, which started out with a lot of promise and sort of left a lot of people wanting more from the comic book, but I do think it sets up the universe and the characters for interesting places in the future to come. Now, as far as comic book speculation goes on this, because I do know that I have some viewers that are interested in that, I just want to basically go over what this is going to mean. Since this was an extremely high print run book, it is a key. You're definitely going to want to go after the ratio variants if you're hunting down copies of this book to speculate on. I would start at the 1 in 50 J. Scott Campbell cover and go up from there on the ratio variants. And of course, this news has caused all Dylan Brock keys to skyrocket. And the reason why is because like Venom 9, which is his first full appearance, is a way lower print run book. So it makes a lot more sense that that's going to be more desirable for collectors when they're hunting scarcity for Dylan Brock. That doesn't mean there aren't other keys you're going to want to keep in mind. I'd recommend checking out Venom 7, which is his first cameo. And the other one is Venom 10, which is his first cover appearance. And we've seen cover appearances become a bigger thing. So anyways, good luck hunting out there. I wouldn't necessarily chase this spec hard. This is more for people that found out early or that happen to already have those comics. Now is probably the time to sell or to at least hold on to for future value with this character and see where it goes. Okay, so next up is a chunk that was going to be solely dedicated to CGC signing events. I usually try to keep you guys in touch with new CGC signing events, and this one does contain some news. Jim Lee is doing a signing event, which is awesome. Jim Lee is obviously a huge figure in the comic book industry. He'll be doing a signing event. All submissions are due July 30th, 2021 for his signing event. Also, Scott Williams, his longtime inking partner, as well as Alex Sinclair, are both going to be available for combined signature events for this. So that's pretty cool. However, the CGC news that I'm going to tack onto this is a little more negative. CGC's website has actually been having a lot of problems over the last week, letting at least some people submit CGC submission forms. I've been trying to get a submission form in for the Amanda Connor signing event for like a week now, and I wanted to combine it with another 25 book 9.8 pre-screen. I can't get both of those orders completed. Several times over the last week, the system's been down. I know it's gone back up at certain points. People are getting error messages when they attempt to add books to their carts. So anyways, I don't think this is going to do anything, but I just wanted to kind of shoot up a flare here that CGC sites are having problems, and hopefully they can resolve that soon. All right, so let's get into my favorite news story of the week. This is a bit of an odd one. It spun out of Harley Quinn season 3 hype and buzz. Apparently, one of the showrunners said that one of the things that Warner Brothers would not let them do in season 3 of Harley Quinn is have a scene where Batman goes down on Catwoman. So Batman can do pretty much anything he wants to. Batman's super resourceful, he's super confident, he's a expert in martial arts and all sorts of languages and detective skills and all these things. And yet he apparently can't go down on his girlfriend. Or wife, even in some iterations of Batman and Catwoman storylines. This kind of can perpetuate a negative stereotype around oral sex when it's a male giving it to a woman, and I think that's a pretty bad look. Warner Brothers made the case that they were doing this because they sell merchandise for Batman, especially to kids, and so they can't portray the character that way. But none of that stopped them from putting Batman's penis into Batman Damn #1. So I'm going to go ahead and call bullshit on that one. The jokes are too easy for this one. You know, Catwoman's a cat, and well, pussycats. My mind just goes to all these different places, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it classy, folks. I'll go ahead and defer to the experts. Kaylee Cuoco reacted to this with a lol, which is kind of funny. And then Scott Snyder posted this drawing, which is fantastic. And in my head, that's the canon interpretation of what exactly happened here. And I just hope that Warner Brothers changes their minds on this stance, or at least their reasoning for it, because it just comes off as being really negative in a way that I don't think would happen if it was the other way around. So my final thought on the matter, I think with all the things that Batman has going for him, he'd probably be a pretty generous lover too. All right, so let's move on from Batman to his protege, Nightwing. In other comic book news, Nightwing is revealed to have a half-sister, or at least someone claiming to be his half-sister. This is a character that's been popping up in recent issues of Nightwing. I believe her first cameo appearance would be in Nightwing 78, and her first full appearance would be in Nightwing 81 if you're looking to chase down this comic book for speculation. But still, an interesting new character, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. Nightwing's always been a fascinating character to me, and hopefully this is a character that's really important to the storyline and helps further the whole Bat family dynamic. All right, let's talk video games. Halo Infinite had its sort of 2.0 unveiling after a kind of poorly received 2020 introduction. And we had a bit of a look at the multiplayer and a bit of a cinematic story trailer. The cinematic story trailer I'll touch on first. I wasn't super impressed with it. It kind of reminded me of a lot of the stuff we've seen from 343 Industries when it comes to the story of Halo. Hopefully I'm proven wrong. I'd love to see this be a more engaging and interesting story, or at least have the single player campaign be a lot more interesting than the last couple entries we've had in the series. When it comes to the multiplayer side of things looked pretty promising. Nothing really seemed to be revolutionary as far as I was concerned, but I don't necessarily want Halo to reinvent the wheel. I just want something that feels updated and yet classic. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know down below in the comments what you enjoy about Halo. Keeping it with video games, we got a lot of cool video game announcements coming out recently, which makes perfect sense with where we're at in the year. But we did get a look at the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and my first reaction to this, which was the trailer they showed with I Need a Hero playing in the background, just days after we saw the latest He-Man trailer with that song, which was badass, sort of felt wrong. I'm sure that they kind of cringed when they knew that that's how their release was going to line up with that awesome trailer. But the other thing too is Star-Lord looks like Space Chat. So that's my other groundbreaking take on this. I did see some gameplay footage that was released a few days later, or at least I saw it a few days later, and it looked much better. So I have higher hopes for this game. Just all these new Marvel games, you know, the Avengers, this game, something just seems off. It seems like they're trying to go for this weird combination of the comic book and the movie, and it's just not quite meshing. Maybe that's just me. Maybe you're excited for the game. If you are, let me know down below in the comments. For me personally, I'm gonna go ahead and wait for some reviews on this one. All right, Rick and Morty are back in the news.
Wubba lubba dub dub!
So I guess it's time to get swifty. Really, this story is just another excuse for me to talk about Rick and Morty. I'm really excited for the new season. It's something I've been waiting for. And Wendy's is basically having a Rick and Morty takeover. There's going to be a Rick flavored soda and a Morty flavored soda. And on top of that, they're changing some of the name of some Wendy's locations, I think, to Morty's, or at least one of them I saw a picture of. So that's pretty fun. And again, I'm just excited. They also dropped some footage from the beginning of the next season, I believe, and it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely excited for that. And for the final story of the week, we got our first brief glimpse at Supergirl from the upcoming Flash movie. And I know at least one person that I follow that I know follows me back. I saw some sort of lackluster reaction to this, we'll say. And I'm cautiously optimistic this will be a cool new version of Supergirl. I really had high hopes for that Supergirl TV show with Melissa Benoist as the title character. I think the first season of that show was actually really cool. When it moved over the Arrowverse, the whole Arrowverse just kind of started to be something that was losing steam at that point. Even though I still watched that show for a while, it became kind of cringy in my mind. And I know there's a lot of fans. Sorry if I'm offending you if you are a fan of that. That's just my personal opinion. So I'm super excited to see a new take on Supergirl. I hope this is better. And this Flash movie is definitely going to prove to be an interesting point in the whole DCEU. I think it's going to either be an alternate version of Supergirl from the multiverse, or maybe this is just the Supergirl that we're going to get going forward. I'm not really sure. But it is interesting any way you slice it, and I have high hopes for it. I'm a big Supergirl fan, so I hope that this does turn out to be good. All right, so that wraps it up for Nerd News. Did you hear about a story this week that I didn't cover? Go ahead and let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys, and maybe it's something I'll cover in next week's episode of Nerd News, or cover in a standalone episode on my channel. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a great week. I'll catch you on the next one, and I want you to remember, as always, hey, read comics every day.